Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Oi, Joy.
Hey, Bob.
How are you this evening? I haven't seen you in, I've seen
2
you
seconds?
for the past 4 hours, 3 hours.
You're supposed to say I haven't seen you for like 2 seconds because I closed my eyes.
Oh, and I thought of you the whole time my eyes were closed.
Yes.
Those lies.
No, it was good until then. You know
See,
what?
I should write poetry.
When I re-listen to this podcast, I'm just going to stop
pause it?
I'm going to pause it. I'm just going to linger. And then I'm going to do that little feature where you can kind of skip ahead.
Do you want me to just do it real? Joy, I haven't seen you in 2 seconds, but when I closed my eyes, I thought of only you.
Aw, that's so sweet. I'm going to pretend that you
That's
meant
acting,
it.
people.
I
Take your cues
going
from
to
me.
pretend that he meant it.
That is, you know why Joy likes that shit? Because she's raised in the 80s, and Molly Ringwald would have wet herself if someone would have told her that.
Listen, absolutely.
Yeah.
I am such that child. And I'm even more a child.
P.
I'm like a super child of the 80s because of all of the movies that I just devoured. That was like my life.
I mean, that's why I like all bad guys, I think. I mean, not that I've dated bad guys, but like, I'm attracted to people who may or may not be homeless. You know, you don't know.
I thought you were
Not that
going to
there's
say,
anything wrong with being homeless,
shit.
but you know those types of guys.
I
That,
do.
you just know that they're bad for you. That
looking at
they want to ride to the gas station. They really just robbed the motherfucking place, and now you're convicted of being an accessory in the getaway car.
Oh,
only
wow.
happened
You
twice
took it
in
to a
my
next
life.
level. I was going to stop before then. I was going to say, I've definitely been on like the subway or a bus before with a friend and just like seen a guy and been like, ooh, he ain't good for not one thing but laying pipe. Like, that's all he's good for. The rest of that is just uselessness
And
in
she's
human
not
form.
talking about being in the plumbers union either. You know,
Oh, that's right, because we have listeners in other countries.
right? Laying pipe.
Laying pipe is doing that good sexual work, giving the good dick. That's
Dick.
right. Listen, I'm giving them all kinds of lingo in case.
Yeah.
But you know what?
D.
Our listeners are hip. They're on social media. They know what giving the D is.
Yeah, laying pipe, maybe not. But
Yeah, nobody says laying the pipe anymore. We're going to bring back a lot of sayings from back in the day. Back
So,
in my day.
what we want you guys to do this week is to go call your grandma, tell her how much you love her, and then ask her when the last time she had some pipe laid on her.
You know.
Because she's going to know what you're talking about.
And
Your grandma's going to know.
Right, and then you're going to get smacked upside your fucking head.
Yeah, and if you don't have grandparents, I'm sorry. But call somebody who's old and decrepit and slutty, just like us.
I can't.
Your uncle or something.
Listen, everybody's got those family members. Like, you're just
I
like-
strive to be that family member.
I know you do. You're looking forward to when you're old and like even more rude and obnoxious.
You know, the funny thing is, I just saw my grandma this weekend, and as rude and whatever I am, like, honestly, I think in my grandmother's eyes, I'm the best one.
You've said that before.
And there's like 15 of us. But she will like pretend things, one's on meth, one's doing this, one's doing that. And so, some have college degrees, some are teachers, some are mothers, some are fathers. They're all great people. But I think this one right here, this is the star. But we're not talking about me.
I know, you're trying.
Surprisingly. While I tried to make this a two-parter profile of Bob,
Clearly.
we're actually going to profile one Joy.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
Now, Joy, for the listeners at home that may or may not know, you spell your name like to the world?
I sure do. J-O-Y.
Because there's the J-O-I's.
Yeah.
You know, one
I
of your
do.
best friends, the
Yeah.
J-O-I. The
Certainly.
Joys.
I always give her a hard time and say the incorrect spelling.
Ooh.
I know she doesn't think it's funny when I say it.
But she'll call you the incognigrous right after that, right?
Listen, she's also light. Not as light as me.
No,
That's
she's not
hard
as
to
light
be.
as you.
She's not.
I mean, I haven't seen her in like a decade, but I remember her not being.
No, she's not. I mean,
Yeah.
listen.
She's taller than
Who
you too.
is? She is taller. Yeah. Listen, she's got all the advantages, so she can just take one joke about the way she spells her name.
I mean, being darker skinned, is that really an advantage?
I mean, it is.
Oh,
to me. Well,
to
that's
you.
to me. I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. I think being darker skinned, not an advantage necessarily, but yeah. So, no, I mean, I don't know if it's an advantage or not, but I mean, I think her skin tone is beautiful. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
There's that. That's all there is about Joy. No, thanks for talking to us tonight. I'm glad I
Yep.
got one question in.
My episode is 2 minutes. Awesome. That's so good.
It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's not act like it.
We just started talking about me
Okay.
also.
So I'm here to ask Joy questions like I don't know her, and I'm looking at an audience that doesn't even exist. Hey, audience, how you doing? Pretending like I'm doing this on live and shit. So
When he asked if I wanted to do a profile of me too, I should have just said no.
should just
And let
went
him
home.
just let him
Walked-
live in his
You're half a
moment.
block away.
You know, my God.
So we talked about my nickname-ish things. Let's say, did you have or do you have a nickname? Maybe even a new one that might be coming out soon.
Oh, yes.
If you don't have an old one to talk about.
I mean, I have multiple ones,
Okay.
honestly. We can get to the new one later.
Later.
But I had different ones. My mom used to call me I Need Piney.
Piney, okay.
So all the cutesy ones, like a derivative of one of my middle names, because I have more than one.
Which is Inez.
Yep. Randomly, Tanushka May.
I like
don't
that.
know where she got that. That was one of my favorites too, honestly.
It's almost like Babushka.
Yeah. So she loved to call me Tanushka May. I have a lot of friends who call me, I have one friend in particular who calls me Joyfulness. I have another friend that calls me Joyful. So like all the variations I've received. And then the new nickname,
Ooh.
which is coming out, Miss Petty Cake.
You know, she went there, but that wasn't even what I was thinking about.
Oh, were you?
I was thinking of family and a nickname you may have in the future.
Oh, yeah, but it's not time to talk about that.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, Joy is going to be a grandmother. No. Just kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that this question I shouldn't ask you because we talk about pet peeves all the time. So let's not talk about that one.
Okay. That's why I didn't ask you.
Good thing.
Awesome.
What should I know, or the listeners, unless you mute it first, but what should us as fans of Joy know about you that we'd never think to ask about?
Ooh. That's a good question. I don't even know what to do with that. That you wouldn't think to ask. I guess if you didn't know me, then the thing that you should know, but you wouldn't necessarily think to ask is that, you know, I'm definitely multi-layered. A lot of people think when your name is Joy, you're just joyful all the time, and that's what you have to be. But, you know, I've had a lot of issues with depression. I've jokingly, somewhat for real, said that anger is my home.
Yes.
So
May or may not have a song about that.
may or may not be a thing in the near future. So, yeah, I think that's what you should know is that, you know, it's not all joyful games, not all joy to the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Should have prepared instead of taking a gummy bear break on that one. Who was your favorite school teacher or college professor and why? Not that the listeners don't know, but give them a little bit about that person.
Yeah. College professor, that's adorable. I hate one of my favorite teachers, I had more than one. I had two favorite teachers that I need to talk about.
Okay.
My very first favorite teacher, her name was Mrs. Hannigan. She was my kindergarten teacher, and she was, I mean, kindergarten is kind of fun and games, but I really felt like went the extra mile. Like when we were in kindergarten, we put on our own circus, and kids were dressed up as lions, and I was a clown, and I had like these tissues stuffed up my arm, and I did all these little magic tricks, and we charged our parents like 10 cents entry to our little
Nice.
circus and everything. She took us on gingerbread hunts, all kinds of things. Like she went above and beyond. My next favorite teacher was Mr. Blair when I went to Booker T. Washington. And he was like the teacher that was kind of known as like the hard ass, all the problem children and the transfers were sent there. But he was a really caring teacher, you know what I mean? And I think he just didn't put up with nonsense, and he could see, who was bullshitting and who was really trying to learn and do things. And he was a really caring teacher, and I really felt like he was one of my favorites for a lot of years.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice to have favorite teachers.
It is. Because it's not an easy job.
No, and the thing is like, people give teachers shit, and then we say, like, my whole thing was like, a lot of teachers that I had in high school especially were like, they literally were teaching when my grandparents were in high school. Like, they're old, and they just hate life, which very much so. I mean, if you had to deal with children every day of your life, 9 months out of the year, I mean, you should only have to work 6 months. Like, get all the diseases. And then the way parents are today, you wouldn't want to be a teacher at all, because parents don't believe that their children are bad at all. Just like, I have family members who are teachers, and I give it up for them. Like, I could never do it, because prison would be a reality for me. I would murder a child. I'm not even going to shit and joke about that. It's true. Anyway, so on a more pleasant note,
Okay.
what is your favorite way to spend a Saturday?
Ooh. I mean, I'm going to assume that that it's fall, because that's my favorite time of year.
So you're going to assume that we're going to get one.
Listen, I have been making fall happen. I may or may not be full on magical. That's all I'm saying. Okay. We used to have falls that were like 2 weeks long, and the last few years we've had quite a length to it. So, assuming that it's a fall day on a Saturday, I just wake up leisurely, at my own time, which is also a fantasy because I have 2 cats, and those little bitches think that every day I'm supposed to get up and go make their damn treat money. So what would really happen is the kittens would wake me up when the fuck it's time for me to get up
So
at 6:30 in the morning.
your cats are at a sitter's.
Yeah, so wake up when I want to, and get to go out for a nice little walk in a sweatshirt. Filled up crisp air. Get myself a lovely coffee. And by coffee, I mean with all the shit in it that makes it not coffee.
Right.
But like a milkshake.
Black water with sugar.
Basically.
Gotcha.
The real stuff. And sit and read. And probably write songs. Because, or poetry.
Poetry.
I'm quite the writer.
You are quite the writer. That's your thing.
It is. I've been writing since I was so young. So it's always been with me. There's times where I don't like to write, but it's gotten me through quite a bit in life. So
Nice.
yeah, I think that would be it.
That's all it? That's your Saturday?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's enough of it. Have somebody lay down some exceptional D later in the
Pipe?
evening. Yeah.
D
That's
pipe.
right. We did talk about dip pipe.
The pipe. Lay down the pipe. Sorry, that was a horrible Jamaican.
So horrible.
Maybe it was Australian. Let's just leave it at Australian. It's a little less racist. Not that all. Anyway, we're just gonna move along.
You please do.
I'm not gonna get myself out of that one. I said I was an actor earlier. It's true. I do all kinds of voices.
Nobody said he was a good actor. That's the problem. I just had a Bob moment. It was like
That
it was
hurts.
like your personality inhabited by body. Ask me another question.
What was it like to have Bob inhabit your body? Oh, okay, no, that was a joke question. There was a real laugh, but it was a joke question. So, how would you? I'm going off the rails, off the script.
Okay.
How would you describe your spiritualism?
Oh, look at you getting all tricky. Because it's not really something that I can boil down super easy. And I think that's the thing, right? My spiritualism has evolved, if you will, over the years. And what I would say is that my spiritualism is that I don't believe in one right answer. Like, I don't believe in that kind of connection to the cosmos, call it God, call it goddess, whatever you do. Yeah. So, sorry, a lot of yes. We just got through talking
We just talked about it off mic.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, but the truth of the matter is, don't distract me. You know I have ADD. I can't stop. No, I don't believe in one right answer. So my spiritualism looks like a lot of the things that I practice in my own home life are pulled from certain set quote unquote religions.
Okay.
You know, I honor certain Hindu gods and goddesses. I honor the Hoodoo tradition, which is, you know, from my own family background. So I honor a lot of different pieces because I don't think there's one right answer. And I've found a deep connection. Anything that I found a deep connection with, you know what I mean? And resonates. And I can see the resulting change in my own life as a result of it, I'm drawn to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your spiritualism was what works for you?
Absolutely. And honestly, why wouldn't everybody do it that way? Why wouldn't everybody be willing to listen to their own voice and what works for them, as opposed to I have to live within these set rules and I have to feel like there's only one right answer?
Well, I don't think you want to get into that discussion right now, Joy. Or ever on our podcast.
Bob knows that I will stir the pot.
We dance around the
with
religion subject quite a bit.
We do.
We've poked it with needles, but we've never actually had a truthful, from my perspective, discussion. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Jesus, Vanjie, or the Holy Ghost.
Not the Vanjie.
Jesus, Vanjie, and the Holy Ghost. We're here to talk about you, Joy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this will say a lot about you.
Let's do it.
If you could fuck any
That's the thing that would speak about me.
any Hollywood actor, dead, alive, not born yet,
Not born yet.
who would it be?
Oh,
And why?
there's only one?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, I used to feel like I had quite the Hollywood actor harem back in the day. Like I had created a whole team.
Well, pluck a couple out of that harem. Maybe I'll give you two. How about two?
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the one that first came to I'm gonna do the first one that came to mind. You're never gonna expect it in a million years.
Captain Kangaroo.
No. You know what, really? That's what we do. Just give me just a smidgen of credit, if you would. First one that popped in my mind, Don Cheadle. Now, we'll take a brief break while all the kids go and Google who the fuck is Don Cheadle.
I mean, Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true.
He's in the popular lexicon of the world.
That's right.
Like, people know him.
Because Terrence Howard did one movie and then
One movie and quit. So War Machine.
Yes. So War Machine.
From the Avenger movies and Iron Man 2 and 3.
Yes. Because listen, I love me a dark-skinned man, for one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's so handsome. He's got this sort of GQ kind of, swagger type
Definitely
thing.
wears suits.
He's
He's a suit man.
he looks like he would just charm the panties off of you, literally.
And smart. He seems
and he's
smart.
super smart. Now, he's a little. He's a little small. My
And
usual
the
type is
petite
stockier.
side, not-
That's what I mean. Sorry.
She don't mean pipe. We don't know what his pipe looks
We
like.
don't listen. I'm not making any accusations about his pipe.
Skinny
I'm just
guys,
saying
though.
he's skinny, and that's not usually my type. Usually, I go for definitely stockier.
Lazy.
You should talk, bitch.
Oh, shit. Anyhow.
Yeah, so I would go for the unexpected choice.
Oh, cool.
Don's my man.
So, are you satisfied with that answer? You don't want to bring any of your other harem out?
Listen, in my hair, like if just like the inner hoe is talking,
Yeah.
you know, like just to use a dick and wrap it all
You
up.
recently got your picture taken at Walgreens for your hoe pass. And you just took it to the post office. You waited 6 weeks for it to come back from the United States government. Your hoe pass came in, and now...
Vin Diesel.
So Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Two light brights often repel one another. But what I would say is, since I'm just using him for sex, and he does have muscles to grab onto, I can take that gravelly voice, for a little short while, not for a long-term relationship.
Put your pussy on it. You
for
don't
a
have to do
night,
it all night.
absolutely. You know, he does look like the kind of person that wouldn't put a lot of work into it, but I'll beat some work into him. I will give him a work ethic so I can get rough.
You know what you could do with Vin Diesel that would improve the sexual experience is act like you don't know who he is.
That probably would definitely do it.
Because, then he has like, she don't fucking know
She
who I
know
am.
who I am? Oh, I'm about
I'll
to show
her
yes,
who Vin Diesel is.
That's exactly what that is.
Vincent, we know you.
There it is.
That's the truth of it all. So, Don Cheadle, Vin Diesel.
Listen.
Are all the guys, all their last names end with that little sound?
No, not all of them. No. Because listen, at one point, Tony Jaa was on the roster.
Who?
Exactly. I'm going to need you to stop. You know who it is.
I thought you were going to say Tom Cruise, actually.
Fuck him. No, not ever. False.
So.
Okay. Actually, this is the perfect moment for another What the White.
Oh, What the White. Here we go. Okay.
What the White. Okay. Here's the thing. People are going to be mad about it. Explain the George Clooney thing to me, because you'll have heard some black people say, "Oh, I think George Clooney is cute." They're lying. They're saying the answer that they know white people want to hear.
Like
we
when
don't
people say
get
Jennifer
it.
Aniston's pretty.
Basically, like explain the George Clooney
Okay,
fawning over him thing.
George Clooney. This is it. This is when I thought George Clooney thought he was cute and good looking for 3 good years.
Okay.
That would have been the seasons that he was on Facts of Life in the
Wow,
mid-'80s,
Right.
as he played George, and then when he was on Roseanne for the first season.
Wow.
So I'm talking like
Yeah.
little dirty, little scruffy, long,
Lots of hair. Yeah.
George Clooney. Not really muscular, not really any of that. I mean, he probably was, but it was the 80s, and who was?
Yeah.
Do we know what muscular was? We knew Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone else was thin.
Okay, so you can't explain to me the "Oh Brother, Thou Thou" or what the hell the fuck is that? You know that weird
That movie?
Yeah, like you can't explain those years to me when he was making all the weird.
Like the Caesar bowl cut. No.
Yeah.
I honestly can't. Now, if anybody ever says that Brad Pitt's not good looking, I will fight you to the death.
No. He was on the roster at one point.
But yeah, just I don't. George Clooney. I mean, for a brief second when he was looking like he should have still been in the 70s, like that's when he was going for teen heartthrob. I think that was it.
Okay.
Then he went to like serious actor, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've always
He's not
been curious.
ugly, but he's not like
Yeah. That's all right. Well, thank you for this
What the
second.
White?
What the White?
Right.
All right. Next
Okay.
question.
I had a question that wasn't on the books, and now you made me forget it.
Blaming it on me. What else is new?
If you could have any type of hair in the world, color, length, describe that kind of hair that you would live in, that you could just like. And if you're completely happy with what you have now, it's a good answer too. I think we've been talking about hair a lot lately. So
you know, I think the thing that I've never had is probably what I would want, because I like changing my hair so much. But like that middle of the back, super thick, kind of straight hair that you could then curl or do whatever. I'm gonna say like light brown with blonde highlights.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
those kind of tones go well with my skin tone. But yeah, I would want that thick hair because I have a fine thin hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I want to get my best full weave on.
Okay, so we have the hair.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite place on the planet? Well, you've been there, not been there, want to go there, whatever. Favorite place on the planet?
Wow.
This one.
Yes, I understand. Okay, I need to, I can't just do one. Favorite place on the planet that I've never been to, but I feel everything I see is like magic, Bali. And I would like, years ago, I was going to sign up and I was going to go on a trip with a friend, and then they started losing planes
Oh, yeah,
on
no.
that side of the globe.
Missing planes.
So then,
Never been found.
we didn't go. But favorite place on the planet that I've been to, southern France.
Oh.
I've always been fascinated with the language, which kind of also ties back into my family history. Just funny story. A lot of us, we all like learned French, but didn't necessarily know when we were young that
Right.
that was part of our heritage. It's like, wonder why we're all drawn to French. And then you get older and you go, oh, makes sense. But yeah, no, I love southern France specifically because things are slower there. Like the pace is slower. They speak a little bit slower. Like the hospitality, all the things that our South is kind of known for. Great weather. And listen, they do not fuck around with food. So one top 5 meals I've had there. So
South of France. Very nice.
oui.
These are things I feel that you don't know about Joy just from listening to our show.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
a good
These are things-
episode.
Yeah, we don't
I'm
normally.
glad I had this idea.
You know what? It had been 10 whole minutes since he had talked about him, and then
Oh, that's what the kids are listening to. Listen, what will he say next? So, if now this is gonna be a deep question.
okay.
If you could have a podcast with anybody other than me,
Oh, okay.
who would you want it to be? Living, famous, dead, or whatever.
Oh wow. I'm gonna say my brother. Because in a lot of ways, because we grew up together, we have a lot of the same rhythms, the way we speak.
Yeah.
We have very similar sense of humor. And there's not all of it, but there's a lot of things that we're kind of like the male and female version of each other. And I think that would make for a good balance of a good chemistry for on-air discussions.
Cool. I think
Maybe it
it's
would just be
good.
ridiculous.
I think yeah. I think you guys would just laugh a lot. He'd probably tell you to shut up a lot.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I could see him trying to be more serious than me, for sure. But
I think maybe the first few episodes he'd be serious, but I think a few in, you'd get to see the lighter, brighter side of
yeah.
David.
Oh, because I wear him down.
Oh yeah,
That's my job.
that's why you don't hang out that often. Whenever there's events, he's only there like a few minutes. It's like I've had enough of Joy. I gotta go.
And done.
I did my brotherly duty. I'm on.
Absolutely.
So, we talked about your love for New Country.
Oh, yes, the music. I was like, what was the
Yeah.
eye roll? I got it. Oh, yeah.
So, is there any deep, dark musical secrets that we don't know about Joy that may be surprising to people?
No, because I've talked about how I love a lot of indie music, which I don't know if you would necessarily know from like initial conversations with me. I don't know that you would realize that. But I love some of everything, and I've listened to some of everything, including heavy metal. So, yeah, at this point, I don't know if I can say that there's anything that I truly hate. What I think might be shocking to people is that I have had such a deep love affair with music, my whole life, and it has really gotten me through a lot of things. It's just such a deep part of me, and you may not know that because I have such a shitty memory and I can't like name songs and I don't know lyrics often, but
Right.
that doesn't change like the
Your love
deep,
for it.
yeah, like it's fully ingrained.
So last question.
Okay.
So this is going to be an easier one for you because you asked me this question.
I didn't prepare for it. No.
One sentence to sum up Joy.
Ooh,
Or describe you.
I got it. It's more complicated than you think.
And remember that to be beautiful and natural is the birthright of every woman. And I wish you all loads and loads of loveliness and good luck.